Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag is an absolutely incredible game, but in this video we are going to be talking about its shortcomings. So here we have 5 bad things in Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Yeah. Please bear in mind this is all in my opinion. If you disagree or have more to add, as always use the comment section to let me know, because that's what it is there for. Without further ado, let's get started. So one of the main complaints among Assassin's Creed fans, especially about Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, is the lack of assassin focus. Now, I do agree with this to some extent, that we don't get that focus with Edward. We don't see him much as an assassin because he's more a pirate and he hasn't got those loyalties to the assassins yet, and we see him for the majority of his story before he becomes an assassin. And Assassin's Creed 4 was more about how Edward changed from the mindset of being a pirate to the mindset of being an assassin, and how that happened, meaning we get to explore the piracy side of things more than we actually get to explore the assassin and Templar things. I mean, we do get the assassin and Templar things very consistently throughout, however Edward doesn't actually get that focus for the majority of it. Which leads into my next point, which is that the lack of assassin focus for the majority of the game means that right at the end, the assassin focus parts are the parts that are crammed into the last sequence, or the last 2 sequences. I'm not quite sure which it is. It might be the last sequence in a bit where Edward's mindset has changed properly, and I feel as if that wasn't quite long enough for the character, and they could have done so much more with him in that time, and they could have made him a bit more mature. I mean, of course they'd done the 12 sequences by that point, but they could have done like 15 or something, made it a lengthier game. Nobody would have argued with that, and spread out his missions more, and that would have been an easy fix to that. But then again, I understand budgets, and I understand deadlines, and I know that that was probably something that they probably should have sort of balanced out more in the game, rather than just adding bits to the end. However, the game's story itself was good. This was just a couple of shortcomings that came. Now, don't get me wrong on this point. I enjoyed the Naval's presence in Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. However, in the main story, I feel as if the Jackdaw and Naval as a whole was relied upon too much to fill gameplay opportunities, because in the game, a lot of missions actually did require you to use your ship, and I understand that being a pirate game with ships and stuff and that mechanic, they obviously want to use it quite a fair bit. But I feel as if at certain points using the Jackdaw actually began to feel a little bit excessive, and it might have been a bit better had they not used it as much per se. However, the Naval was great to use to explore the open world. However, in the story there are only certain points where I think it's necessary to use the Naval, and it shouldn't have been used as much as it was. Maybe even just a little bit less. It didn't need to be used that much though. It was definitely necessary to be there quite a fair bit, but as much as it was, I feel as if it was a tad overkill, and it was more just to show off of, look at how good our naval system is now that we've updated it from the shite of Assassin's Creed 3's naval system, which was shit by the way. But I feel as if the overuse of the naval in the story made the story lack the diversity that it needed, which along with my next point really did sort of make the story and the missions in the story not very diverse at all. Next up, we do of course have the excessive use of tailing missions in the gameplay, in story missions and other missions as a whole. I do believe in the Nassau assassin missions where you go to get the Templar key, about 3 of the missions are tailing missions, and that's consecutively. No wait, it might be 2, but either way, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag has a ridiculous amount of tailing missions. Like, if you think it overuses naval in the story like I do, you'll think that it fucking kills it with tailing missions. It's always tail this guy, tail that guy, follow this guy, find this guy, then tail him, then kill him. And all in all, it doesn't add very much diversity to the overall structure of the game. This robs enjoyment from the fun element that's supposed to be in the game, because nothing is fun about doing the same type of mission over and over and over and over again. I don't care if I'm following Roger Craig Smith. And all in all, this point just took from the experience for me. For this final point, we need to really sit at Ubisoft's board and think like a Ubisoft developer or higher up. So, you've got this beautiful, vast open world full of beautiful locations, but what do we fill this open world with? Yes, a couple of interesting side missions, but mostly Pointless collectibles. Perfect. Although not as bad as Assassin's Creed Rogue, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag is not innocent of this crime. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag fills its open world with a lot of pointless collectibles, just like in Assassin's Creed Rogue, except this time not as bad, and there are some interesting side missions here and there, but for the most part it's the same story, just pointless collectibles after pointless collectibles. The open world actually becomes quite predictable, which is something that you don't want, considering how beautiful the open world of Black Flag actually is. So as far as the open world is concerned, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag might look nice, but it's actually quite typical of Ubisoft. Although the world is very nice looking and is still quite fun to explore, and there are quite a fair few things to do besides from these pointless collectibles, although there's not enough, I would argue, and the pointless collectibles do take up a lot of the open world and things that you can do in it, and honestly, it got kind of annoying. So there you have it, 5 bad things in Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Thank you all for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, share, comment, tell your friends about this video and the channel. If you disagree or have more to add, then please go ahead and tell me in the comment section. After all, that's what they are there for. And I will see you all in the next one with another video. So yeah, slow down.